What's up, guys, and welcome back to another man versus deer video. In today's video, we're going to be seeing how long this lifetime cooler can hold ice for. Let's get after it.
This is probably one of my bigger bucks to date.
Guys, I cannot believe that actually worked.
Looks like a double long shot. It was hot, really hot.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smack that subscribe button. Definitely like the video, and for sure leave a comment. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. So like I said earlier, we are going to be seeing how long this lifetime cooler can hold ice for. This video is going to be done in two parts. I know a lot of people who put ice in these things will kind of pre-chill them first, and we're going to do it both ways. We're going to put ice in here and let it sit in my garage as is. And then for the second test, we're actually going to chill it. We're going to put ice in it and then take that ice out, make sure this thing is good and cold, and then put ice in it. And we're going to see how long it holds ice as is. We're going to see how long it holds ice once it's chilled. So this cooler is a lifetime cooler. It's a 77 quart one, so it's a really, really big one. I bought this thing because me and my dad are going antelope hunting, and I wanted something that I could throw ice into at the beginning of the trip and not have to worry about it until after. And I think this thing is going to fit the bill for that. This thing boasts that it will hold ice up to 9 days. It's got a built-in bottle opener. It's certified bear-proof. It is blow molded with insulated construction. It's got a 5-year limited warranty, and it all around just feels like a pretty solid cooler. When I was reading reviews between Yetis and Ozark Trail and this, based on those reviews and based on price, that was a big one, I decided that this was the cooler for me. So without stretching this video out any farther, we're going to put some ice in this thing, and I'm just going to check on it once a day, and we're going to see how long this thing holds ice. Okay, so we got 50 pounds of ice in that 77 quart cooler. You probably could have fit one more bag in there. I think it would hold about 60 pounds, but we got 50 pounds in there, and I'm just gonna check in once a day, and we'll see how it does. We'll see how long this thing holds ice. See you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, so it is day number 2. So I put the ice in yesterday. It sat all day. I went to work. It sat all day again. Let's open this thing up and see what day 2 ice looks like in the lifetime cooler.
All right. Day 2 ice, it's kind of formed into a little block, but it is all still there for the most part, and I do not see any liquid in it yet. We're gonna shut it back. All right, end of day 3 for our ice test. Let's open this thing up, see what it looks like. All right. Day 3's results. I can definitely see some moisture in the bottom here, and the ice has shrunk down pretty considerably, but it is still holding pretty good. It's a solid block at this point, and there's a decent amount of liquid at the bottom. So day 3 did some damage. All right, guys, it is the end of day number 4. We're gonna open this thing up, see what our ice looks like. All right, at the end of day number 4, our ice is most of the way melted. Still cold enough to keep meat in, still got a decent chunk of ice in the middle, but most of the way melted. I'd say we've got another day out of this, maybe 2 max, and that's gonna call it 5. All right, guys, we are on day 5, and what I believe is going to be the final day of our ice test. Just to kind of refresh you, what we've done so far is we did not pre-chill this thing. We just put 50 pounds of crushed ice in this, and we were doing a test to see how many days that was going to last. This is day 5, and yeah, I'd say that's going to call it. All right, guys, so as you can see, this thing, without doing any prior chilling and using like a crushed ice, it held
ice for 5 days. What I would consider like holding ice is like I could put meat in there and it wouldn't spoil. And this is the end of day 5. So we got 5 days of ice out of this. Now, I said I was going to do 2 tests, one where I chilled it and one where I pre-chilled it. I'm going to modify this video slightly, and I'm going to do a test to see how long I can make this ice last. So for my next test, I'll probably pre-chill it, and I'll probably use bigger chunks of ice, and I'm just going to see how many days I can get it to hold ice, period. So I'll check back with you in a few days, and we'll start that part of the video. All right, so we're back for part 2 of this test, and in part 2 of this test, I am just seeing how long I can make ice last in this. I'm hoping to get about 9 days out of it. What I've read is that if you pre-cool the cooler and you use big chunks of ice, that you should be able to achieve a lot more longevity than using like the standard ice cubes and stuff like that. So what I've done is I have pre-chilled the cooler overnight using I think it's a 5-gallon bag or a 1-gallon bag. I'm not sure. I got big Ziploc bags full of ice that I put in the freezer and froze. And I've got one in there that I left overnight, so that cooler should be good and cool. I'm then going to put 5 or 6 more of those in there, and we're going to see how long that lasts, just like we did before. Give you a daily update, and then we're going to see how long we can stretch that out. All right, guys, at the end of day 2, I put that ice in yesterday in the morning. It set for a whole day. I woke up this morning, it's set for a second day, so we're on day 2 of the how long can we make this ice last test. I'm gonna flip you around and we'll see what it looks like to begin with. All right, everything is still frozen, fairly solid. Got a little bit of shrinkage in the bags, but not much. Not gonna last as long as I thought it would at this rate, but we're just gonna keep on trucking and see what happens. All right, guys, we were at the end of day 3 on our ice test for the Lifetime cooler. I'm gonna open it up. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we still got some good chunks of ice. Cooler is starting to fill with water, so some of these bags are leaking. I still got a pretty decent amount of ice though, and it's definitely cool in here. So we're gonna shut it, and I'll touch base with you guys again on day 4. All right, guys, so I missed a little bit of filming, been busy the last couple days. We are at the end of day 5 right now, and I'm gonna open this thing up and we're gonna see where we're at. Okay, most of our ice is gone. Well, guys, most of our ice is gone. We've still got a big chunk in each bag, so I wouldn't say this test is quite over yet. We're probably going to give it another day and see where we're at. Okay, so here is where we're at the end of day 5. About half our ice is melted, and I'm going to go ahead and call this test here. Cooler's about a quarter of the way full of water. All right, guys, that was the end of day 5, and I'm gonna go ahead and call that test there. I'm gonna call it because I call the test when I would no longer put anything in there and still think that it would be cool. Like if I killed a deer, I wouldn't put it in that or leave it in that. I would change the ice out. So that's gonna be the end of the test. So when we put the regular crushed ice in there, it lasted about 5 days. And granted, we put more crushed ice in than we did these big chunks. When we did the second part of the test, we pre-chilled that cooler, and then we put 5 or 6 big chunks of ice in there, and they lasted about the same amount of time. They lasted about 5 days. I do think the test may have different results if I was to put a lot more ice in it, but I just didn't have the freezer space to freeze that many of those bags. So this cooler, in my opinion, has usable ice for around 5 days. Maybe a little bit longer than that if you pre-chill it, and maybe a little bit longer than that if you fill it to the brim. And then take some ice out when you need to put in whatever it is you're going to put in. But that's my findings. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Definitely check the link in the description because it's got a shop, and any purchases made from that shop directly support my channel. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. I'll catch you in the next one.